Hey everybody, welcome back to a little bit of D2 streaming tonight. We got about maybe an hour or so before bedtime, so try and get in a little bit of streaming here. Turn off the music. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Having a good long weekend, if that's what you've got for the weekend. If not, I hope you're at least having a good weekend. Still got a few hours of the weekend left. All right, let's scooch that down over there. All right, let's see where we had left off last time. We've got a little bit of chamomile tea here too. That'll help us out. Do we have? Yeah, we've got a little bit of.
Good day.
Yeah, he's just quiet. That's all. The music is really silent or quiet down here. It's such good music though. Let's turn it up. Let's see. As far as our quests go, we got the Jid bin. We need the heart. I believe we have the eye already. Yep, we got the eye and the brain. We're okay on equipment. We are keeping an eye out for a an Ort rune. Because with an Ort rune we'll be able to make our shield. Which it says we still need a little bit of strength, but we're going to get a few points here from a quest that's coming up in a couple of minutes, and we're just going to dump those straight into strength, and that'll give us all the strength we need to wear our shield. Ooh, still a little bit hot. We're not going to bother with a mercenary yet. Just because there's not much to do with a mercenary. We should be completely out of the jungles. I don't think we have any need to go back to the forest, Great Marsh, or Flare jungle. We can just skip right ahead to Lower Crest. There's an interesting feature of the Lower Crest area, which I just wanted to point out. We're going to see if we can get anything decent from it. But there are special, what would you call them? Campfires? Patterns on the map, let's put it that way. Which always have pretty decently high drops for things like runes, because they have what are called stupor chests sitting next to them. And we actually have one of them on this map. We're at least going to look around for the other one. I'm not sure if we have the other one or not, but this chest, and then we'll run over here to these, well, that's a weapon rack, but this chest as well. All of those have pretty high drop rates for things like runes. We're only in, I should say high drop rates for moderate to high runes, as well as other stuff that can be helpful along the way. Here's a key. We'll take that and run back over there, just see if we get lucky with a key. That said, most people don't really run Lower Crest until they get to, I'm gonna say hell. I don't think I've even seen people run in Nightmare. I don't watch everyone play Diablo 2, so obviously I don't know of everyone that plays the game. But I think most of it's called LK farming, occurs in Hell. It doesn't really happen in Normal or Nightmare. But it can be a good place to pick up charms and a fair amount of cash, all kinds of things. And runes, of course. So I'm judging by the relatively slow way we're killing some of the stuff there. We're definitely going to want to keep pushing Fireball to keep trying to get more damage to it. And I think we're also going to want to try to get better at... there we go. I was going to say, I thought I could teleport across there. A little bit better at sending off a static field too, as things get a little bit more tough in terms of their hit points. I mean, we're not doing awful right now with the fireball, but we should definitely keep trying to pump up the fireball as best we can. We're also looking for these stairs that you can kind of see over here on the left, and they show up as this sort of highlighted pink on my map. But we're looking for one of those whose entrance sort of goes up and to the right. That is, I believe it's called the Ruined Temple, and that is where we can go in and get a little quest by defeating an enemy that's down there. And that will give us a book, and then the book ends up giving us 5 skill points, or 5 skill points. That would be great if it gave us 5 skill points, but it's just stat points. And then we're also sort of keeping an eye out for that other, you can see there's a pink sort of line underneath me there that heads to the sewers, but I'm not really that worried about the sewers right now. I would rather go get my stat points. So let's see if this enters from the correct side. Should be it. Excuse you. So there are some spooters in there. Just like so. Didn't really get too much in the way of items from her, but she doesn't tend to drop items. The reason we're down here, that was, I think, Serena, Battle Maid Serena. We want that totem. Yes, you can carry more, I promise. That we will take back to town, and it'll get us 5 more stat points, which we will then proceed to dump directly into strength. Run away. Cool. Up to level 21. Ooh, we gotta, oh wait, no, I was thinking that we could re-roll that clasped orb that was sitting there, but we can only re-roll, I would have to double check, I think we can re-roll anything that's blue, but just generally speaking, it would at the very least have to be blue, and what we got was white, so it wouldn't be any good. It'd be nice to up static field a little bit, but I think we're just gonna keep adding to our fireball. Because like I said, it's feeling a little bit weak, so we want to keep that up. We're now down in the sewers. The last body part is down here, which I think is the brain. Or whatever, I don't remember. Let's see, what is it? Brain, heart, no, it must, we've got the eye, we must be looking for the heart down here. Most of what we encounter down here, we're just going to run from, or throw a couple of fireballs to kind of slow it down, because we're not really that interested in it. But those little fellas that we just saw piling up over there are called dolls. Dolls explode when they die, doing an enormous amount of damage, which we just don't want to mess with, because we've only got 236 life. So I'm going to run around mostly with Frost Nova on, because I don't want to accidentally kill a giant group of dolls. And our fireball is strong enough to just wipe out a group of dolls, and then they all blow up at the same time, causing us considerable damage. Easily enough to kill us. Oops. That Grand Scepter might sell a little bit. I know we're starting to get to that point where things are getting a little bit more expensive in terms of potions. So we will pick up that Grand Scepter and try and sell it. And there we go. There's
I'm
our heart.
overburdened.
You're not overburdened. Just put it in there. We are not too far from the end of Act 3 here. Without too much terrible effort, we should be able to get to the end of Act 3. So I'm still kind of practicing here, and even in areas where we don't really need to practice, and that's to try to get a little bit better at the pattern of Frost Nova, Static Field, Fireball. And now, sort of on top of that, is teleporting around. Right, we're going to try to get a little bit better at teleporting, which does have the unfortunate side effect of occasionally just taking us right into a pack, like that just did. But it's so much faster than walking around. Lots to remember, right? Like, this is why I said earlier, I think in one of our previous streams, that I tend not to start with the sorceress as my sort of beginner character, because she's got a lot going on. She's a hard character to play. She is the fastest character to play in terms of getting through the game, but she's also one of the more challenging ones to play, because she's got so many things going on. She's got armor, Frost Nova, teleport, telekinesis, and then whatever attack. So we're coming up on the council. Sometimes if you're quite good, you can just run into the council, kill them all relatively quickly, or just like skip them. You don't even have to kill them. Well, that's not true. You have to kill one of them in order to get the mace that we need to use here. But being me, I'm just going to take a moment here, kind of clear out the outside edge, and then drag them out, maybe 2 at a time, something like that. There's Winston. He's very upset at who knows what. So this is a regular council member, not... We need one of the named council members to come out here. Come on out here, guys. Don't swing your wand at something. There you go. They can hit pretty hard. That's okay. Here's our flail. Cool. That's that. We'll put the flail into... Oh, actually, let's just pop into town really quick and get rid of the book.
You have, yes.
And we'll sell some of our other stuff as well.
Hello. You have fun.
There we go. And we're just going to put all 5 of those right into strength. So we've got 35 strength now. We're probably just going to sit at 35 strength for a while. Try and sell some stuff. There's a nice 15k. We don't need any firewall, so we're just going to sell that. We're going to leave those in there. We'll go back and pick up our flail that just dropped. I'm also going to take a second here and look up. I think we could probably go ahead and put, if the first rune isn't Ort, we can at least put the other runes in there and just kind of carry around that one. It's Ral, Ort, Tal. So we could at least put the Ral in there into our shield and kind of walk around with a Ral rune, which would give us 35 fire res, right? The next one is Ort, which we don't have, but at least we've now got some fire res, right? We had basically nothing before. So we'll do that. And we'll grab more pots. Oops. Don't fill up on light.
I am overburdened.
Cool. And now we'll keep going.
I can't carry anymore.
Put that in here, transmute it. There's a couple of more council members in here that we're going to want to take out. I mean, more than anything, just for, I mean, it's nice if they drop a room, that's certainly good. Or for experience than anything. We don't need to kill them. But it's good practice here. And evidently good rooms. Fire engine might take a second to kill. There we go. Cool. And that short spear will probably sell. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking of a short staff would probably sell. And we picked up a Neph rune and an Ith rune, which is always nice. The council usually has pretty decent drops associated with them. I'm going to turn this to throw so that I stop running over and trying to swing at things. Okay, so if we look over at our notes, which are underneath me here for map running, we're about to go into Durance of Hate level 1, so we're going to try to check out what tile we're exiting here, what direction. So it's generally direct exiting towards the bottom right. Relative to that vector, we have to turn to the left. So we're going to head towards the top right here, sort of northeast, and see if we can't find the outlet up there. There's plenty of stuff that can kill us in here, especially those dolls. But fortunately, we have teleport and the Frost Nova, which can kind of help us not really kill them, right? Again, I don't really want to kill the dolls, because if we kill them, they have a tendency to blow up. And not just a tendency to do it, they will blow up. Which we don't want, because that'll kill us. Cool, here is level 2. And now we're at level 2, so generally we're going to go straight to get out. But we also want to find the waypoint, because we could potentially come back and farm a little bit of normal Mephisto. Honestly, probably not, because he doesn't have that great of a drop table. Really, the first place we would do a little bit of serious farming would probably be Nightmare on Dariel. Probably the first place we would go. So if we find the out here, yeah, we'll just take it in retrospect. Whatever, let's go find it. The completionist in me says, let's go find it. Usually, it's right of the... Is it right of the waypoint? I think it's actually left of the waypoint. Which means I'm thinking the waypoint is going to be way back there at the beginning. Sort of in the direction that we headed originally. Really need to make sure that we are not holding fireball. I think right over here is our waypoint. Cool. And we'll just take our little shortcut back. Let's make sure we've got enough. We've got enough to do the initial parts here. We're going to go down here.
Impossible.
So we just kind of skipped over. There's some guys in the middle there that I don't really want to fight. Mostly because they'll kick my butt. Or at least they could. There's lots of stuff out there in the middle. So we're kind of running over here. I'm going to set a waypoint, or a town portal, because we're about to try to fight Mephisto. There are any number of ways that we can... Well, there's about 2. There's a moat trick that'll kind of lock Mephisto in place. And then you can also get him sometimes stuck on a ledge. But what we're doing here is intending to just run right over to him. And I'm going to use the same kind of sacrificial trick that I had used before,
Hello,
which
now
is
that
to
it's
just
yours.
resurrect our mercenary, and he's not going to be anything except a body bag. I just need him to stand in front of Mephisto for a couple of seconds while I fire off some static fields. Good enough. That's all he had to do. Now we just throw some fireballs down at Mephisto. Trying to avoid his pretty significant damage. I really should have grabbed a health pot. Let's go do that really quick. I don't know why I walked down there and tried to fight an act boss without any health pots, but I did. Oh, hey, Mephisto, thanks for, like, hanging out right on top of my portal. Helps to not click off the screen. Oof. Let's try and slow him down a little bit. Cool. We actually don't need the soul stone at all, but there's a little bit here that we can pick up in terms of stuff that'll sell well. We don't really need
Mephisto
that
shall
anymore.
no longer darken our souls with hatred.
Thank you for that little statement. Giant sword, claws, none of that's gonna help us. Actually, I don't know why we did that. We're just leaving now. Cool, so that's Act 3. Heading across the bridge here to the portal.
Hello.
Identify some stuff. A couple of things are nice about Act 4. We're going to get 2 skill points here when we go find Iswell, or Izzy. We get bigger mana pots, bigger health pots, which does come at the added expense of things are more expensive, so we're going to keep picking up things like that that sell for 20k or something like that, so we've got more than enough to buy our mana pots, and we're going to keep them pretty well stocked because we're going to do a little bit more teleporting than we might otherwise do. So we're going to get rid of the stamina pots because we don't need those. And we're pretty much just going to try to teleport out to Ishwal. Not quite as fast as I think other people might be able to teleport. But that's what we're going to do. Oh no, souls. So this is the nice thing about teleport is once you get it up and running, it's really easy to sort of run out of mana. That was convenient. I mean, we didn't really need it, but it also allows us to do things like find visual really fast. But you need the bigger mana pots, or you basically run out of mana too fast for it to actually be useful. Cool. Quick 2 skill points there. Head back to Tyrael over here. Got our 2 skill points. I think we're just going to dump them both into Fireball to keep our damage going up. We don't really have too much else that we would need to put them into right now. And we'll restock on potions here. And then we'll buy a couple more just in case. And I'm actually going to stash my gold too, just because I have a tendency to die while I'm out there running around. So, just in case. Oh, we've got a couple of runes too, which I think we'll go ahead and cube up our nephrons, because I believe our nephrons will end up giving us some Ral runes. Oh no, wait, Nefs give us Eths. We don't really need that. Tals give us Rals. Probably not a bad idea to cube up our Tals, because we don't... Do we have enough, though? I want to keep enough that we can use Ancient's Pledge as soon as we get it. I don't have enough Tal runes, do I? Not yet. Okay, so no cubing would be of any interest. Let's see.
I need mana.
Oops.
Not enough mana.
Cool, City of the Danged. I'm gonna throw some safety TPs up. So City of the Damned has our next waypoint in it. But much like... Huh, never seen that. The other two areas that we were in, there is plenty of stuff out here that can do quite a bit of damage to us. Especially if you run out of mana when you're sitting right in the middle of them, as we just did. But we're just looking for a waypoint.
I need mana.
Which will be to the next area that we're trying to go. Right there. Cool. River of Flame it is. Now River of Flame I'm not going to teleport through, because I actually want to kill stuff down here. Although, do I? Okay. We'll set a TP. Let's see if I can teleport through. I really doubt that I can, but we will try it. So we'll walk sometimes, just because it's a little bit safer for me to walk. And then when we get to packs like that, we will teleport around them. Generally heading in the northeast direction. Cool. We teleported through there, okay? Okay for me, anyway. I'm gonna move those pots because, well, let's try to get used to leaving the pots anywhere we want, and getting useful enough that we will figure out how to select the correct location of pots. Hey look, we had our first spam pot in here. Isn't that nice? I guess there's a first for everything. Cool. River of Flame waypoint. Now we're gonna head into the Chaos Sanctuary, which is where Diablo is going to be. That'll be a good spot if we can get into the Chaos Sanctuary, open up all the seals, that'll release Diablo. And if we can do that in maybe like 15-20 minutes, something like that, we'll be in pretty good shape to run to the end of to the first zone of Act 5, second zone of Act 5, and get our Ancient's Pledge. So let's see how we can do here. Run, 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 run. Cool, here's the Chaos Sanctuary. So again, I'm trying not to actually fight anything in here. I want to try to run to the middle where I can set a town portal. And when I set the town portal out there, it's kind of like a safety spot for us, right? Okay, good. We've made it to the center. Now we can start to try and kill some stuff.
Not enough mana.
And it's becoming more and more important here to be able to use Fireball to take some stuff out, because their life is getting higher and higher. The further we go, the more teleport becomes important. Or excuse me, static field. Like such. And we have to go in all 3 directions to clear stuff out. I'm gonna go try to do the easiest one first, which is up here, and leave the hardest one for me on the bottom right. The reason I say hardest is because the guy on the bottom right has a lot of fire res, which when you're a fireball source is a little hard. So we'll run to the top left. We're just generally looking for mostly empty, which there's a pretty good number of people here, so that's not great. Right, but it's a balancing act that we're going to do of fireballing, frost nova, static field, in not necessarily that order. But as you can see, it gets expensive, right? Killing these things uses up a lot of mana, and mana comes at the expense of mana points.
I need mana.
Yes, you do. So normally I think if somebody was, trying to speed run all of this, they would not be trying to kill so much stuff here. That's not going to sell. Short spear, broadsword, warsword. Right, for exactly that reason, which is it costs so much to actually kill everything. But I really want the experience. Both like in literal terms of like I need to get better at the game, but also the character wants experience. Not sure why I chose to drag everything back to town portal, but so we kind of overspent on my mana pots there. There are, a number of the enemies down here are also rather annoying for a sorceress who's actually trying to kill everything, because they will drain your mana, which are the little floaty guys. The little floaty guys drain your mana. I'm going to pick up that chainmail, because like I said, we are trying to keep an eye out for things that'll sell. And I'm also keeping an eye out for a 4-socket sword, which is what that had the potential to be. It was not this time, but could have been. Yeah, I kind of figured that. It didn't have any stats on it at all, so it's not surprising it was going to not sell for very much. So you can see how fast our reserves of cash are going down here. I mean, we should be more than okay to get everything. A little bit of texture pop or something. These enemies kind of came out. But we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Try and round up a couple of them. We can do pretty well actually right now, just fireballing everybody, so maybe we'll keep on doing that. It really only seems to be the Oblivion Knights that are really giving our fireball a run for its money there. Everybody else seems to fall really fast. Especially those annoying casters. Oops. Wrong button. Cool. We'll have to make a note next time we go back to town to buy more health points. Man, Oblivion units are just resistant to so much that we can do. So 3 of the seals down here will release boss groups. And they spawn like semi-randomly. Oops, teleported right into the back of them. The Stormcaster that's up here is also fire immune, which is not that big of a problem for a sorceress. I mean, it is mildly a problem just from the standpoint of we can't use Fireball to kill that particular boss. But what we do is just wipe out everybody else that's around that boss. First, we get our body back. And second, I go back to town and grab our health pots. But then what we're going to do is just go hire a mercenary. In fact, we will rehire a mercenary. I will hire the one that we have and then get another one. Because another one will be slightly higher level. Which is what we want. So I'm going to try to grab a couple of these guys. Thank you. Cool. Let's see if there's anybody left except the boss. We want everybody but the boss to be dead here. Because our mercenary is not going to be the strongest in the world. Not that the mercenary needs to be the strongest in the world, because our static field is going to end up doing an awful lot of the work. Wow, there are a lot of bosses. Oh, I think some of them are actually bosses. No, all of those are bosses. Maybe we just found some other ones as we were going. Cool, so that's all of them. Now we're just going to drag Grand Vizier over here. And now we're going to pop back home. I'm resurrecting the old Merc just because he had a decent weapon on him. But then we're just going to go back.
I can't.
What's inside there? Oh yeah, our chainmail. Cool. We should go sell that to get some money for it. I just wanted that poleaxe that he was carrying so that we can go back and grab another one.
What do you need?
All we're looking for is just the highest level mercenary we can get. Beyond that, doesn't really matter. Again, just not entirely a meat shield, so this time the mercenary is actually going to do something. He's going to do a little bit of physical damage to finally kill off Grand Vizier. 17, 19, 20 combat sounds fine. Hey, let's get Gulzar. Gulzar was 20. Sure. And he's combat. So he is actually going to do some damage here. Because all I'm going to do is sort of oscillate between Frost Nova and Static Field. But you can see, like, he just does a ton of damage. Like, he really didn't need my help there. He was doing just fine. Grand Vizier doesn't have very much physical resistance or HP. So, if you can just find somebody that'll poke him a few times like Gulzar just did, usually makes pretty short work of it. Now that said, Gulzar's not going to last very long.
I can't carry anymore.
He's going to get wiped out here pretty fast. But hey, while he's there, sure. This is also where having a excuse me, frog in my throat. Having a nice range on static field really becomes helpful because you can just kind of hit a static field or hit a frost nova, throw off a couple of static fields, run, hit another static field, frost nova, etc. Right, because just a couple of those hits of static field take them down by a pretty good chunk of their life. And again, we're being pretty inefficient here because I am generally inefficient by killing a handful at a time, but it's also safer. Normally if we could... Ooh, I'm going to keep that superior broadsword, which... Actually, I'm not sure. I think it'll show me its item level because we're on item level 30. We'll have to double check in the various online resources if an item level 30 broadsword will get 4 open sockets. Because I don't remember. Plus, I don't know. I mean, now that I think about it, we're so far away from ever needing it that I think we'll just skip it. Because we can't use it until like the 20s, like late 20s. I'm thinking of a spirit reward and a sword. You have to at least be big enough to use an AM rune. I don't think we're quite there yet, so rather than waste a socket quest on it, we'll keep searching for one. Whoa. Those guys are going to hit hard. So we'll try and keep our distance. Cool. Flail I don't think will actually sell for anything, but we'll hold on to it. Broad axe, not going to sell for anything. Cool, that's 2 of the 3 down. And now the only one left, like I said, is the harder one, just because he's got a bunch of fire res. But we will. Fire res. Whoa. Cool. There goes all of them. Stock up on whatever kind of potions we need. See if that crown's any good. Yeah, but requires way too much strength. We're not going to have 56 strength for quite some time. So. Just kind of going about it, grabbing a couple more. There's usually a few more that sit down inside of here. Okay, I guess it's just you two. almost got a level up too, which is nice. But I'm going to run out here and put a safety TP just because these guys have a tendency to hit pretty hard. And I never remember which. Alright. So what I'm trying to do is just peel off one or two of them. Or all of them. Rah. They have a pretty decent connection to their boss. Ah. What if we can fireball them from over here? Can't fireball them from over there, but we should do some good damage to them right there. Let's head back home. We will sell everything we've got and restock on potions here. All we really need to do is kill Infector. We don't have to kill his minions. Although, I mean, it's obviously convenient if you kill the minions. Just because it's a few less that you have to kill. A little bit easier to get to Infector. We can dump Mephistos too. I guess we could have gone and done the Hellforge quest, but I'm not really interested in it right now. Because once we kill Infector, all of his minions will die too. Not sure why I grabbed that. So we're just running around, obviously, trying to wipe out some of the minions here.
Not enough mana.
Starting to get them down to the point where we can actually take some of them out now. Cool. Oops. Restock on pots. We'll start throwing some fireballs at the other ones too and seeing how we do against them. So his minions are starting to go down pretty well. Their fire sure does hurt, though. We've only got 48 fire res. Cool beans. Should only be like, I think, 3 more sitting down there. That should be it. Onwards to Diablo. Stack up what we can.
Not even death can save you from me.
Gotta avoid that. What we gotta do is get close to him. I think we'll do our mercenary trick again of just a sacrificial lamb. Put Gulzar in there close to him. We'll sell everything that we've got up here just so that we can pick some other stuff up. Broadsword. Big money? 10k is not bad. Let's see, do we need any cold res? Not really. and he doesn't do any poison, so. So again, all we want from Gulzar is to just live for a fraction of a second so that we can get over there. So we're just gonna plop Gulzar right next to him. Good enough, Gulzar. Gulzar did what he needed. Gave us just enough time. That could be it. Yeah. But we got him pretty good right now. We're not doing too bad here. Grab our body. Stock up on our pots again. We're gonna let Static Field do a fair amount of work here. Because even though it looks like his health total is getting pretty low, he's still got a lot of health. Well, that might be enough. A couple of fireballs over there. There we go. War Sword and a Trident. I mean, we don't need those, but they're not bad to get. What do we got in here? Oh, Fangtail. Well, that's +3 to find item. Wouldn't be the end of the world if we had a Barbarian. Throw a Trident in there. That Gothic plate's gonna sell too, so let's make a little bit of space there for that. And there we have it. We are done with Act 4. And all we're going to do for the last few minutes here is kind of skip out to the end of the first area in Act 5. Just teleporting through to get our runes to make our shield. Gonna make an Ancient's Pledge in our shield that we've got there.
If your afternoon.
25k, 7k, not bad. Keeping ourselves stocked up, and we get to check out our first few uniques that we'll put over here in our collection. Got a Razor Tine and a Colwyn's Point. Colwyn's Point's it's not at all a bad weapon. I mean, we wouldn't mind it just for the plus skills that it has, but we are more interested in faster cast rate than plus skills. Razor Tine, not bad for our mercenary. It does have slow target by 25%, so we might put that on for our Bale fight, give it to our mercenary for our Bale fight, because that'll, between that and the cold, that'll pretty much shut Bale down. Not a bad beginner merc weapon. Blood Crescent, we already had that. I'm not going to use a Blood Crescent for anything. Tis what it is. Cool, so all we're going to do is run out to... I'm going to try to teleport all the way out there. We'll see how well that works. Because we just got to get out to that first waypoint and then go find the barbarians. Just like such. Cool. We are keeping up our teleport rate to pretty much perfectly match our pot consumption, which is how we made it all the way out to there. Without doing too much, we'll go over to Mala, grab a couple more pots. Actually, they're super expensive here, so they're 900 for a greater mana potion here, but I think they're like half price back in Act 4. So since I'm stingy, we're just gonna go back here to Act 4 really quick. And get them from Jamela. Yeah, they're half price. Thanks, Jamela. And now that we've got that waypoint, out here in Act 5. There's a couple of nice things that are out here. One of them is this guy. Eldritch. Eldritch farming is a nice way to get some decent items and a little bit of experience. I'm not really interested in too much experience right now. We're mostly interested in saving the barbarians so that we can get our runes out here. But you can get semi-decent stuff from him. But all we're going to do now is throw on teleport, and we're looking around out here for the barbarians. Go ahead, barbarians. We gotta find 3 of them. Where's that well? There it is. Let's go find 1 more set, or sorry, 2 more sets of barbarians. I think I know generally up here. There they are. Cool. Hop out of there. Hop out of there.
I need mana. Impossible.
Need to find a semi-safe space to throw some pots back in there. Close enough. One more set of Babas. Let us out, indeed. Cool. And now we're just gonna hop back to town, and that's that. Because we'll now get all of the runes that we would typically need for Ancient's Pledge.
I am. Thank you. What is
Just like that. And I don't know actually if that makes Mala's cheaper,
How may I be of help?
or if she's always expensive. No, she's still expensive. Oh well. But let's go ahead and make our Ancient's Pledge. We have to throw the Ort and then the Towel into our shield. So there's our Ort. We'll put this over here. There's our Towel. And we did pick up a Ral rune, which I will probably stuff into that other helm here in a minute after I see what our res are like. So we've already got Ral, and then we'll throw Ort and Towel in there. So we make ourselves an Ancient's Pledge. It's got about 50 to all of the resistances, only 43 cold, but that's still pretty darn good. And some of the things we could put in our helm, we could throw a Towel in there and get poison res, but poison res doesn't really hurt anything. Probably put some Rals in there for fire res. Let's take a look actually at what our res look like. We're maxed out on cold. We're going to lose poison res a little bit, which isn't going to be anything. So we could go ahead and put a Ral rune in there and max ourselves out on fire res. And then if we happen to come across another Ort rune, we could throw that into our helm as well, and that would give us some lightning res. But for now, we'll put a Ral in there. Put that on. I mean, we can sell that skull cap, but it's not going to be worth very much. Sold it. And now we take a look at our res, and they're great, right? We're pretty much maxed out on everything. We could use a little bit more lightning. An Ort rune would give us another 30 lightning, so we'll probably wait for that. We could put a little bit of MF in there, but we're not really farming anything yet, so we don't need the magic find. Gloves are great. We're probably not going to replace those anytime because it's got big res on them. Still kind of poor showing with our amulet. Or no, excuse me, with one of our rings. Our amulet's not bad. It's got tri-res, but they are all pretty low res, so we could do better there. The 18 MF isn't bad. This ring, it's okay. Poison res, FCR energy. This ring, we're still looking for a slightly better one. And right now we've only got a 10 FCR wand. Eventually we're going to want a 20 FCR wand, but 10 is fine for what we're doing right now. Generally, pretty good shape. Yeah. we're in pretty good shape here. So that's Act 3 and Act 4. Actually, let's go back to Act 4. We'll see if we can really quick grab an Ort rune if we get lucky from the River of Flame from our Hellforge quest. So it's conveniently located here. I am going to go backwards a little bit and clear out some of these guys because we need the space. Because we need to be able to kill the smith. And he hits real hard. Fortunately, nobody out here is quite as tough as the ones that were in the whatchamacallit, Chaos Sanctuary. So a couple of fireballs for the most part will handle the guys down here. Superior stag bow. I'm gonna take a look at that because I do enjoy playing. No, nothing. The Amazon. This is another area with all these little creepy crawlies in here that it would have been nice to have Nova instead of Fireball, but Fireball still does pretty well for most of them. All we've got to do is watch out. It's a little dark in here. I should probably adjust settings here. Is we don't want the smith to come trudging at us, because he will hit really hard. Hey, large charm. Take it. We're a little low on pots and scrolls, so we'll grab those really quick. I mean, we don't need too much to take on the smith. He's not like the most difficult in the world, but strong enough. That's not bad. 8% faster hit recovery, right? That'll help us if we ever get stuck, as we just were a moment ago, in a pack somewhere. A little bit of faster hit recovery will help us get out of there a little bit faster. So there's the smith, or I should say Hephaestus. Same character model as the smith, but not actually the smith. Fortunately, kind of slow. Cool. There's our Hellforge hammer. But he does hit like a truck, so I mean, we got lucky. But he wasn't hitting that hard. Fingers crossed we get an Ort rune, or at least just some helpful gems here. Thal rune. Not bad. It would add some cold res. We did manage to get another topaz. One more topaz that we need. We are eventually going to want a bunch of perfect topazes, because that's how we'll get started with our magic finding. But the Thal rune, it doesn't really help. I mean, it's not a terribly uncommon rune to begin with. It would give us some cold res if we were to pop it into our helm. Can't use it just yet because we would need to be 2 more levels. Nevertheless, though, not a bad drop altogether from our Hellforge. Thal's okay. It is one of the other ones that we will need for our spirit weapon. So that's good, right? We've got Thal. We still need our AM and our soul. Actually, do we need AM and soul? I don't. We might not actually need AM and soul. We might just need AM. Spirit. Yeah, Tall Thal Ort Am. So all we need is Am. We don't even need a soul rune for it, which means we still need our Ort and our Am, but they'll come by relatively quickly. And the Am, I think, needs level 25 anyway. Let's double check what Am needs. Yeah, Am needs 25, so we're still a little bit away from our spirit. We don't have the weapon, so we're still just kind of collecting stuff for that. So I'll finish up over here in Act 5, just so we remember where we are next time. I'm going to wrap it up for the night. If you were hanging out with us live, thanks for being here. If you're watching our recording on YouTube, thanks for hanging out with us. Stay safe out there. If you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, please go get your vaccine sooner rather than later. And we'll catch you guys whenever I catch you. Have a good one all. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.